that's Prezi in a nutshell. So let's get back to actually creating a Prezi by going to Your Prezis, and there's a giant blue button right here that says New Prezi. Give it a title. So I'm just going to say New Prezi. There we go. You can give it a description if you want to. Otherwise, it's going to load this web application that you can use from nearly any computer on the planet, and I'm going to pick something just from the blank section here. You can certainly go through, mess around with many of these other different topical items and templates. Choose that one. It's going to load a blank canvas for me after I select a few more things. These are just items that can help me jazz up or emphasize things within my Prezi. So you land right here in your canvas area, and I'm going to recenter this a little bit, possibly even adjust my screen so you can see all the different components of what we're messing with here. There we go. And so now, once you're ready, you can hit present, but right here down the left-hand side, you're going to see something that looks a little bit similar to what a PowerPoint slide show might look like, but right now we just have one single slide, one single canvas, and there are a lot of little cute hints for you. For instance, like click to add text. If I click, I get my text editor, and I can change everything from color to font size, and I can put in main topic here. There we go. And now I'm done. If I click on it again, I'm given the Prezi wheel of magnificent might here. So I can rotate like this. I can grab a hold of this and minimize, or I can begin to increase the size of it, or if I use the centerpiece here, I can move this item around like this. The other thing that I can do obviously is delete, or I can edit that topic, which allows me to type in there again if I'd like. Now, I also have this wheel around the outside, which allows me to rotate the entire wheel. It's like it works as a frame. This is the frame around the outside that encompasses or holds that text as well. And I can certainly delete that frame if I want to, or I can begin building other components on my canvas. Over here on the right hand side I have the home button, which brings me back home, but this is to zoom in and out of my canvas. And you're going to see, I'm going to zoom way out here so that my main topic is absolutely tiny actually. And now if I double click someplace, I can add more titles or more topics. So I'll just put another title in there. So now you can see that this is gigantic, this is tiny, and I can go home, which brings me back down and centers everything that I have created so far. But if I want to drill back down to where I was a little while ago, as long as I have that centered, I can begin to, sorry, I gotta center it, there we go. I can begin to zoom back into that item, and I can mess around with that if I would like to. I'm going to zoom out though so that I can show you just how simple it is to begin adding other items. So I'm going to add up here, you see add frame, add themes, images, shapes. I can insert videos even, or PowerPoints, where it sucks them in from a PowerPoint that I've already created, and it lays them out in slide format as images, and then you can use frames around them to take people through easily a presentation that might look like a PowerPoint presentation. But I'm going to add an image here by clicking Add Image from Google Images, and I can actually just search Google right here, look for a train, hit search, and there is a list of train items that I can pick from, and you can scrub through them. I'll pick this train wreck here, and it's downloading and putting it into, there we go, into my Prezi as we speak. We're processing your media. Please wait. You can move it around while you're waiting, but then once you're done waiting, you can certainly resize it like we did with the text. You can rotate it again, like so, and move it. You can trash it just like you could before. So now I have text and a frame down here. I have text right here and an image right here. I'm going to add a shape. I'll pick something simple like an arrow. Just draw it like this. There we go. And once you have that in here, you have little handlebars at the end that allow you to move or bend the shape however you'd like. And when you're done with that, you can also add frames around something. So what I'm going to do is add text over here by my image and then put a frame around it so that it associates the text with the image. So I put this right here. I'll put train. There we go. So now I can focus people on the word train, or I can, by adding a frame, let's see here, I'm going to draw brackets. around this area, I can focus people on that whole section. So if you did not notice, you should have seen how all of a sudden, once I added the frame, it added another slide right here. So it created an automatic path from this main item to this item. And you see the number 2 shows up right here next to my frame. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's kind of blurred by the arrow right there. By the way, I'm using my Mac, so I'm just using 2 fingers to scroll in and out by using 2 fingers up and down on my trackpad here, and it automatically does it. But it automatically creates those paths so that my presentation actually goes from here, when I click on this slide, to here. This is something relatively new in Prezi's, and now the new option is to create alternate paths, or to mess with my paths, change my paths so that they follow a different route. For instance, if I click Edit Paths right here, all of a sudden it says click on any object to add it to a path. Right now I have a path that goes from number 1 right here, and if I zoom out here, there we go, and it jumps up to number 2, as you can see. But anything that I click on next, it will go to that area. So if I hit, you'll notice as I hover over the word train right here, it sort of highlights itself, and it also offers the opportunity for me to add a path to that, and I can see that because that number 3 is ghosted. I click right there and it adds a third path. So now I have main topic to this title to train, and I can even jump now over to this text. So now I have 4 different spots that I can run from my main topic to these other pieces here. And now let's just go ahead and start my presentation so you can get an idea of what this looks like. So I start here, I click, or I advance, and it goes to my second frame, and you can see the frame right here that I put in there nicely articulates where that slide will go to. And now I'm going to zoom in on the word train, and finally I'm going to back over here to the word more titles, and I'm going to hit escape just to get out of here so that I can show you one more thing. I can even drill way down into the letter E right here if I want to, and I could put a tiny little shape or symbol right in there. So I'll just use my pencil to draw, and I'm going to draw the world's ugliest circle just to show you what it looks like. There we go. And now you'll see I can zoom even farther. I could zoom way down into the circle like this, and I could add a piece of media down here from YouTube, and I'll just I'll pick an image, but first I have to go find this URL link, or this link to this YouTube video. So I'm going to do that now. So here I am at a YouTube video about iPads and bookmarking that I created, and I want to link this video or embed this video directly into my Prezi. So I hit share, and you see this short little code right here that's responsible for the URL, or is the URL for that video. I grab a hold of that URL, I go back to my Prezi, and I paste it directly in here, and I hit insert, and it should load that video. Now that video is directly embedded into my Prezi for me to view by pressing play if I want to, or to resize or rotate or whatever I'd like to do with that video. And you'll notice as I zoom out here, or I'll just hit the home button to give you a perspective, that video is so tiny that it's imperceptible at this point. However, if I want to, I can create a path to that video. So if I drill back down in there by centering over the more titles here, and I go into the letter E, which is where it was buried, like so. Way down here where the video is housed, you can barely see it in there, but that's as close as I need to get. I can hit edit paths and make my next path go right to that video. So I click on edit path and I add a path straight to that video right here, and that's what we'll show next. And you can see the video actually shows up deep down inside here, but it will show full screen. Another easy tip here is if I wanted to add another video like this, come in here, add another video about the iPads that I train people on. I could move that video over here, and instead of having to drill all around and figure out where that thing is, I could just add a frame to it immediately. And if I add an invisible frame like this right around the video, it's automatically going to create another area for me to, or it's automatically going to create that next slide for me on this area. Now this is a little different because it's not showing the video in that slide, but that video will show up actually. It's just bizarre looking, but it still works in the way that you would think. So now I'm just going to go to the presentation one more time here. I'm going to start here on number 4, go to the presentation and show you what it looks like. So here we are at position number 4. Roll ahead. There we go. It drills right down to that video, and actually it automatically starts playing that video, which is fantastic. It knows that I want to play that video, and knows that I want to click on it, and then if I were to click again, it would bring me over to this video and zoom me out. Hit escape and get out of here. I think you're seeing the power of all of these different quick, agile, easy to use tools. Frames are a way to just encapsulate something. Themes are something that you can change the way that your entire presentation looks with one click of a button. Images you've seen are easy enough to search from Google. You can even upload images from file, much like attaching an image to an email. You can add shapes fairly easily. I haven't taken you through symbols, but you can imagine there's any number of symbols you can use. Media, also quite easy. You can upload a variety of video files straight from your computer, including MOV files and some other MP4 files that will play directly and embed themselves directly in your presentation, which is a great option. And then the PowerPoint option down here at the end is also a phenomenal way to just grab a PowerPoint, and what it does is it breaks it up into each slide in your PowerPoint becomes an image in a linear fashion. What you do is you put frames around each slide, which then creates paths or creates slides out of each of those PowerPoint slides, mimicking a PowerPoint in many respects, but embedding it directly into your PowerPoint or into your Prezi. When you're all finished, the best part about Prezi is that you can invite or collaborate with others so that other people can work on the same Prezi as you, either at the same time or at various different times, but work on the same project together. You can certainly print, and you can even change many of the settings if you want to. And then finally, you can save and close your Prezi to use or work on later. That's the long and the very short of Prezis, how to create them, how to create paths, and how to use them for presentation.